This poem is titled Shall Earth No More Inspire Thee? Here's the TPCASTT graphic organizer I completed for analyzing the poem. We can analyze poems by using TPCASTT, which stands for title, paraphrase, connotation, attitude, shifts, title, and theme. Title is repeated twice because we get our initial impression of the title before we start reading, but after finishing the poem, we can sometimes interpret a deeper meaning from the insights we have learned by breaking down the poem. Paraphrasing, connotation, attitude, and shifts all contribute to creating the overall theme of the poem.
The next part would be an ode, and to define an ode is a lyric poem in the form of an address to a particular subject. Our ode is called an ode to a cat, and this would fit the definition because this poem is addressed to a cat. So the tone and mood of the ode work as so. So the original poem, it worked to show the tone by using rich words and adjectives that evoke superiority when talking about the cat from the narrator's point of view. The word choice and lines that are quick to finish and then immediately begin anew resemble the quickness of a cat and show how the author adores the cat. The mood brings one of professionalism while still including love for the cat. The advanced word choice brings a level of respect to the description of the cat while still remaining understandable.
Alright, our next piece of literature is a sonnet. A sonnet is a poem of 14 lines that uses a formal rhyme scheme, and it is written in iambic pentameter, especially in Shakespearean literature. So this sonnet is Sonnet 130 by Shakespeare, and it's basically just a diss to his wife. It starts off with, "My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun, corals far more red than her lips," and it just sort of continues with this pattern for the first 12 lines. And then in the last 2 lines, which are called a couplet in a sonnet, and they have their own rhyme scheme, which is independent of the rhyme scheme of the rest of the sonnet, he actually reverses his viewpoint and says, "Even though my wife is not my ideal girl, I still appreciate her." So this represents the sonnet. It fits the definition of a sonnet because it's written in iambic pentameter, and it maintains a different rhyme scheme from the couplet in the top 12 lines. And this sonnet holds a tone of smug, magniloquent voice of dissent, as Shakespeare relentlessly voices his wife's regretful physical shortcomings. As an example, in line 4, he states that black wires grow on her head, sort of insulting his wife's ungraceful hair. He wishes it were silkier, but it's like wires. And then the tone reverses in the couplet at the end, the last 2 lines, when he reflects on his gratitude and for his unique and compassionate marriage, and he says he thinks his love is rare in line 13, which sets a tone of sort of wholesome acceptance and gratitude towards the end.
For the last part of Unit 4, we have Music as Poetry, and for my project I chose Don't Throw Out My Legos by AJR. Here are the lyrics, here is the rhyme scheme, and here are a few highlighted lines for figurative language and that show tone. So, to explain the tone, it's somewhat a point of nostalgia and reluctance to dive into the new world, as this song details the adventures of the 3 brothers who made it, moving out of their parents' house for the first time to live away from home. So it entails these feelings of the trio during the event. To begin, it has multiple examples of metaphorical comparisons within moving away. In line 3, the narrator states, "Because I leave the nest this coming December," and this describes him as departing from his nest, where the metaphor replaces a childhood home with nest to evoke feelings of protection and security, like a mother bird to her children. And as the entire song details the nostalgia and struggles of moving away from home, this line shows how the narrator feels towards the aspect he's moving away from. And by using this metaphor to describe his childhood home, he connects his feelings and opinions toward the childhood home as one of soundness or certainty. This metaphor explains how lots of people in the world, when moving out for the first time, regard their original home as a safe haven, like having a nest is for a baby bird. And then a second example of their tone is the actual structure of the song, built around the emphasized chorus, and the chorus is listed as follows: "Oh no, don't throw out my Legos, what if I can't let go, what if I come back home, back home." These lyrics elicit more nostalgia, primarily written through the use of Legos, which is, a worldwide childhood favorite toy. But as the more central chorus lyric to be focused on is, "Can we keep my Legos at home, because I want to move out, I don't want to move on," it brings up the key point that the Legos signify a recollection the narrator doesn't want to be lost. So these Legos, which narrator wants to keep at home, represent the fact that despite moving out and away from home, he doesn't want to move on or away from his childhood. The chorus loops back to these lyrics quite frequently, although when revisited, the song always slows down and is accompanied by exclusively soft piano until the following build-up, creating a sense of, intimacy and melancholy. This structure uses Legos as an anchor to a childhood reminiscence and replaces the wants, feelings, and desires to stay home with a tangible object metaphorized to symbolize them. And also, since the Legos are mentioned in every chorus and even the title of the song, narrator makes sure his tone references this concentrated feeling of longing through emphasis.